Hello, hello, my lovely collective. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope that everyone is doing well. I feel the need to open up with like a context. I've got a lot of new people here. I'm almost to 2,000. Oh my God, you guys, thank you so much. You have no idea. But because I have so many new people, there are a lot of tarot card readers out there, and there are some who just like blow my mind. They're phenomenal. They're amazing. There are some that I'm just like, oh, I'm probably not gonna watch this person ever again. You know what I mean? But part of that, I think, has a lot to do with delivery and understanding like what it is that they're doing. And what I've noticed, and I've been reading tarot for over 20 years, I have natural abilities, I guess you could say. Also, I was raised around, world religion and tarot and Wicca and Buddhism and Christianity. And so I just had a lot of different experiences that I think has offered me an opportunity to have a lot broader of a perspective on how it all works. That being said, as I have, as I dive into this deeper, and over the years, one of the things that I've noticed is this. There are times when I will start out a read or a group of reads, I guess I should say, and it will be this like end result kind of a read. And then over the coming months or weeks, however, it plays out for us individually, the story unfolds. So it's almost like you start at the end of the story and then you go back to the beginning and then you work your way through. So a lot of times I'll find, like my reads will feel kind of repetitive at times. And that's because you're just kind of like in that lull of the story, you know what I mean? And then as the story progresses, you reach the end. And when you reach the end, it's amusing and amazing at the same time to me, because you can go back over reads from the past and you can be like, that's where this group of reads started. That was the beginning of this story. And then once the story's complete, it's like I've started a whole new book and we're in a whole new realm of reads. I share that in part because I feel like the last set of collective reads that I did felt very much like the end of a story that we are beginning. Which is appropriate because it's the new year, new me, new story, right? But anyways, if you're just now joining me, and you want to kind of have a better understanding of why energies can shift so dramatically, but it's kind of like when you watch a movie and it starts at the end of the story and then you backtrack and you go, and then you're at the beginning. But that end gives you a sense of hope, a point of reference, a goal, a direction, sometimes what literally feels like a reason to hold on. So that's a very long introduction. I got to figure out how to mark your reads. If anybody knows how to do that and they want to do that for me, totes appreciate it and love it, because my intro is 3:33. We have the empty room, the warrior, the ring, and the threshold. And I feel like there's just this idea of really having to step back, of feeling unbearably triggered. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like anything or anyone that comes in your path is going to get taken out. Not because they need to be taken out. Maybe they do, I don't know, but because you're just in an energy of just like, if anybody says one more thing to me, if you even look at me the wrong way, if you even, you know what I mean? And when that energy is present, the best thing that anybody outside of that energy can do is turn around and walk away, because you can't, it's like trying to have a conversation with a toddler who's pitching a tantrum. That is the equivalent of that energy. And I think that you or another person has been in this energy of just like not even being able, like I can't even, and I don't remember whose read that was, but it's like I can't even breathe the right way without you jumping down my throat and attacking me and accusing me and making up shit about me. Like, and you're helping me when you weren't attacking me was still such an attack that it's just kind of like I can't even be in your presence. I can't even attempt to have a conversation with you because it's literally impossible. And that is this energy. And then there is this energy. The ring and the threshold. And the ring is, never ending and never beginning. And I feel like there's just this idea of I guess to play back into the idea of like sharing what I was sharing with you in the introduction about, like how I think my reads play out. It's the end of the story, and then you go back and you start at the beginning and you work your way through like the emotional process and context of this particular story. And I feel like there's an idea here of like there was an end of a story that you're committed to completing this story in order to cross over to the other side. Okay. Hope everyone is doing well, having a wonderful beginning of their week, a good day, a good evening, whatever time you're tuning in. So happy you're here. Okay. Whew. 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords. We'll start with that because again, it's just this idea of like, I couldn't tell you how many times like just like attempting to even have a conversation with you was like just being attacked. I mean, there have been people in my life who I've I can hear you speak against me every time you do it. And then I see you smile at my face whenever you see me, but it doesn't negate all of the negativity that I hear you like throw against my name, that you speak against my character, But I feel like that's how you feel. You're just like, I couldn't tell you how many times you've tried to tear me down. I couldn't tell you how many times you tried to put me in my place. Like, let me count the ways. But I think sometimes it's like you have to stick through to the end of the story to understand like how do you prevail beyond that, right? Like sometimes you have to go through that nasty part of the story in order to get to the redemptive end. But I feel like you've done that, and there's opportunity that's being presented to you because of that. You've got the Empress, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 10 of Cups. I mean, this is a new opportunity. This is usually like a job offer, but I feel like it's something that's really honoring like the power of who you are, right? It's like, like if you're in a business professional environment, right? And you've got an abundance of experience in a realm of work, to the point where, like you would be considered somebody who's an expert in your field, and you go into, like a business, and that person, like I think of like working with small businesses, right? If I spent over a decade working in marketing and advertising and recruiting and you know what I mean, like all of it, and it's like you go into a small business and that small business's area of expertise is, selling a product, okay, so you have somebody who's created, I don't know, I just think of Ori, like what he sells, like accessories to one wheels, and it's like, okay, well, that's his area of expertise. So like if I go in and I want to talk to him, I'm sorry if like just using a person, but I feel like it just makes sense. And I've never worked in a professional means. So like, it's not even a real example. You know, any small business, and you go in and you want to talk to them about it, and they put their heart and soul into building that business, right? And they know that business inside and out. So when somebody else comes in from the outside, they are very protective and very aggressive, you know, and they might say, I want help, but everything that they say and do is in complete conflict with that mentality of wanting help. And so when you deal with those situations, you know, oftentimes the best thing that you can do is say, you know, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I see why you feel that way. And if you do feel that way, then it probably is best that we not work together. Because, you know, I'm not here to try and take over anything. But if you're only in an energy of feeling as though anybody having an opinion or a say is taking over, then, you know, then it's better that you just do it on your own, you know, and part ways. And I've been in scenarios like that before in my life, you know, where I've had to say, you know, like that, like, I see your potential, I see the work that you've put into this, you know, but I also understand that you're just not in a headspace or an energy to, you know, acknowledge that anybody is capable of offering you anything of benefit, because in your mind you've reached the highest of the high, and yet you're asking for help. You know what I mean? And there's such a massive contradiction in that. And I think you've gotten to a place where you are in your life, where you're very capable of, you know, like acknowledging your area of expertise, acknowledging who you are, and understanding that there are people who aren't going to work well with that, if for no other reason that they are not in the spot where they can handle it. And so, you know, again, it's just kind of like, I think that you are confident in yourself, you are aware of your, like, what your value, what you have to offer, what that process looks like, and how, you know, like, and who would be a good person for you to work with versus who wouldn't be a good person for you to work with. And I feel like because you've stayed true and you've honored your own experience, your own knowledge, your own area of expertise, if you will, I think that you're being presented with an opportunity to move forward in a different direction, to work with people in environments where you're not constantly, like people aren't constantly undermining you because they don't want you to win. I mean, it's that simple. When people are undermining you, they're doing it because they do not want you to succeed. Because for you to succeed would be for them to have to acknowledge that their way of doing things right ultimately ends up being a big fat you capped out. And if that's where you want to stay, good for you. Congratulations on all of your hard work and effort. I hope that you are able to continue in this manner, you know, successfully. All of the best, you know. And it's like, you can, like, I feel like there's looking at somebody and saying, okay, well, you maintain your, you know, I don't know. I just think of like restaurant owners, and there are people who have, like, they have their little tiny pizza shop or their little tiny ice cream shop, and they're proud of what they've done, and they should be proud of what they've done. It's good what they have accomplished. They've accomplished far more than a great deal of people. And then you have people who take something and they franchise it out, and now they've got, you know, 5 to 10 businesses under their belt. Their, you know, like, their income is up, their portfolio's up, their, you know, like, expansion in life is up, you know, and they're proud of what they've done. And then you've got people, you know what I mean? Like, there are always people who are going to be above you and below you. But it's usually the people who are below you who want to trip you up because they feel somehow insignificant, because they didn't do as much, they didn't strive as much, they didn't get as far. And yet they're doing a lot better than a lot of other people are, you know. But when you live in a world that's very competitive, the only people who won't tear you down are the people who are above you. And even then, you know, like, if there are people who are above you who know that you're gunning for that spot, those people are going to do their best to tear you down too. You know, we live in a world that will tear you down. This is a really long read. I'm gonna have to go back and, because I don't know. But it's a general. We're just here. We're hanging out. We're spending some time together. We're exploring thought and emotion. The Star and the Queen of Cups. Well, again, I feel like it's just this idea of like offering somebody an opportunity to stand in their power, you know, because I feel like the idea is that like there is, like, you have a lot of experience, you have a wealth of knowledge, you know, like you'll share it with people who are willing to utilize it, but you're not going to just hand it over to anybody. You know, because to hand it over to anybody is to leave yourself feeling like there's just no real getting past the constant, like the struggle, the drama, the bullshit, you know, and your function, your desire is to move past that. You know, like, I'm not going to cap out there, and if that's where you want to cap out, you know, all the best. I'm moving into a new opportunity. Five of Wands, Four of Cups, Seven of Wands, the Hermit. I mean, you've got this empty room, you've got these battles, like this lack, pulling away, working on yourself, focusing on yourself, and being ready and prepared for what is to come. Because I just feel like there's something coming. There's something coming that honors who you are, that sees the value that you bring to the table, you know, and instead of trying to minimize it or, you know, like make you look bad to make themselves feel better, or, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like that energy is no longer welcome. There has been a shift in frequency, you know, and if you felt like you were stuck in a frequency that just constantly belittled you and put you down and, you know, wanted to, I know, like, there are some dumb bitches in this world who, you know, like, they're little Twitter twat tarot people, and, you know, like, and they wanted to criticize me because of the way I said Hierophant or Hierophant, and they wanted to pick on the way that I do tarot. Well, I'm not somebody who's just reading a book and asking the book to tell me what to say. I'm somebody who's psychic and intuitively reading cards. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, why would I ever listen to you? You're a dumb bitch. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's just this idea of, like, I'm like not feeling triggered by dumb bitches, not dealing with people who, you know, like, because they're successful in one way, think that anybody who's successful in any other way can't really understand their success, can't really help them in any way. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh my God, dealing with people like that are just so not. They're like, that's so last lifetime. That's so last frequency. You're stepping into safety and security and, you know, growth and development, because the reality of it is that even if we are an expert in an area of our lives, you know, like, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know anything. And that's why it's always so important to surround ourselves with people who we view as a, you know, like, smarter than us or more successful than us, you know, because it's like, there's so much more that we can learn. And you can be the type of person who stops and stays, and that's great. You know what I mean? Like, you should still be proud of who you are, you know, but this is not for those people. This is for the people who want so much more. And I think that you're getting so much more. And I love that for you. I hope that this resonates with y'all. Thanks for sticking around for so long if you're still here, and I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.